We are Mette and Karen behind the camera right now. We live in the northern part of Denmark. Looks like this. This is where we work. We are colleagues. And for some years we've been working on different kind of EU-funded projects to promote the outdoor facilities of our region, and none of us ever had the time to get out and enjoy them on our own. But now we've been micro-adventuring for a year, so this is our first. I've done a year of micro-adventuring entry. We want to do the entry 4 months ahead of everyone else. So in this short video we will tell you something about the adventures we've been making this year. Er du klar?
Den kører.
Okay, today is a very simple micro-adventure. The weather forecast has been very bad, so we chose a campsite with a wooden shelter, and so the highlight of today's micro-adventure is pancakes with fresh honey from my own beehives.
Well, the first micro-adventure we did, that was in September 2014. We took the bus from work here out to the east coast of the northern Jutland, and then we walked down the North Sea Trail and stayed in a shelter there. It was thundering. We should have slept on the top of a hill, but ended up in a shelter. But it was still fantastic. The next morning we took the school bus back together with the small kids with their rucksacks and ours with the big rucksacks with all our clubber from the night before, and went into work, had a shower and ready for a day's work.
Adventure. We went down here to my fjord, where we slept at the fjord, at the side of the fjord. We made pizzas on the trunk here. We don't have pubs in Denmark. We have to bring our own food and cook it outside. Great thing to do. And we slept outside with our brand new bivy bags under the stars and the full moon. It was a great night, and the next morning went back to work to all our astonished colleagues. By December, even a 5 to 9 micro-adventure couldn't be put into our schedules. So we took an afternoon off geocaching, which was the first time for both of us, so we thought that would count as a micro-adventure as well. We were geocaching in this area and took three caches, and that was a great experience in a very rainy December
The November
day.
micro-adventure, we went canoeing. We went down to here and canoed all the way up to the Limfjord and then a little bit upstream, and stayed in the shelter there. We were a bit worried that because the water levels were quite high, but by lying down in the canoe we managed to get under all the bridges, and it was yet a fantastic trip. Finished off with glühwein and red wine, and stayed in the nice shelter. 4 micro-adventures in 2014 in the autumn. We decided to do one once a month. So when Alistair Humphreys decided or put out his chart for 1 a month, we were already thinking along those lines. So we've been doing one a month ever since. In January we did independently of each other.
On a very wintry, stormy but very moonlit February night, we went for a night walk across this area, the heaths in Vesthimmerland Kommune. It was a great night walk. We didn't even have to use our torches, our head torches, anything, and we spent the night. And in the morning we almost saw a wolf.
We did?
No, we didn't. It was a fox.
It was a wolf?
It was a fox.
It was a wolf, I'm sure. I saw it. In March we did a micro-adventure in Lille Vildmose. It's the biggest peat bog in Northern Europe, and it's not accessible on foot. There are some boarded walks across the peat, and we slept out there right in the middle of the bog on this walkway. It was fantastic and windy, but great experience. And we worked out that we could actually make morning tea while lying in our bivy bags.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that ever since.
For our April adventure we picked a Sunday So we went up here to the very top of Europe actually, to Robbjermile, which is a large inland dune. It moves from the west to the east with about 10 meters every year, so it's a very dynamic landscape. We started doing geocaching in the area, 12 geocaches. We spent 3.5 hours. Then we watched a spectacular sunset on top of the dune. Spent a fairly cold and very sandy night. Had a beautiful blasting sunrise, and then went back to work, having sand all over in all our things. In May, we just wanted to go to a forest. We wanted to have a good, nice fire going, and we wanted to invite all our colleagues who've been very interested in our adventures, very impressed by our very, very wild micro adventures. So we said to each of all of them, you can come along. We'll go to this forest. It's not going to be far. We'll have a nice fire going. We'll have beef and red wine, and we'll sleep under the stars. That would be a good offer, and the weather is fine. And none of them came, and we had a great night in the forest.
In June and July, Mette and I decided to do our own micro-adventures. I took another friend up to Robbjermile, which is the moving sand dune up here, where we'd been previously in the spring. And I spent midsummer night up there, which was fantastic. In July, I slept in a hammock in my garden, and I missed Mette. It's a lot more fun with her.
Nu kører den. Ja.
For my June micro-adventure, I went roller skiing on the shortest night of the year, starting here at sunset and roller skiing over here to be there at dawn. I was roller skiing this tour with my daughter. My father and my brother were roller skiing as well, so it was a really family thing. It was a race called Coast to Coast. For July, I went with another friend and Karen by bike to the west coast and slept on the hill, the very hill that we intended to sleep on our very first micro-adventure. This time we succeeded on a hill on the eastern coast, cycling back to work.